Thank you, Phil, for such an inspiring message. Let's give Phil another round of applause.
What a perfect message to lead us into our award ceremony. As you learn more about the trailblazers that we are honoring tonight, you should continue to be inspired.
That's right, Kayla. In each award category, we will begin by acknowledging the work of two of the finalists with special recognition. As their names are called, these folks should please come to the front to receive their certificates. We will then name the category's awardee, and that person will come to the stage to make brief remarks. For all of our honorees, as you receive your certificate or award, please pause for a moment for a photograph. Also, and this is very important, please return to the stage after the ceremony for a group photo.
I want to applaud the Conference Advisory Board, whose names are listed in the dinner program, for their work to secure nominations and perform the daunting task of choosing the awardees from such an accomplished group of nominees. Thank you all for shining a light on the work of so many of our friends and allies. As I head to the side of the stage to prepare for the awards presentation, will the members of the MC Lambda who will be assisting me please come forward?
I'm excited to begin with the Terry Whiteside Ally in Diversity Award. This award serves to recognize allies of the LGBTQ+ community for their work in advancing, supporting, and advocating in the community where they live, work, and play. The award was named for Dr. Terry Whiteside, Dean of the College of Behavioral and Health Sciences at Middle Tennessee State University, for his crucial support of the inaugural LGBT+ college conference. The nominees for this award are Mirabelle Stoder and Lindsay Sneckenberger. Each of these nominees has worked to support members of the LGBTQ+ community in a variety of ways. At this time, we're pleased to present a certificate of recognition to the Terry Whiteside Ally in Diversity Award finalist, Mirabelle Stoder. For embodying the principles endorsed by the Terry Whiteside Ally in Diversity Award, please accept the certificate of recognition on behalf of the LGBT+ College Conference Advisory Board. Did we get the photo? No. Thank you, Lindsay Sneckenberger. Like her fellow nominees, advocates for full rights and inclusion of all identities. It's my pleasure to present Lindsay Sneckenberger the 2023 Terry Whiteside Ally in Diversity Award.
So remarks, no pressure going first. Thank you so much to MTSU and to the Conference Advisory Board for this humongous honor. I'd like to thank my Spectrum TVA peers that are with me tonight. So much of the work that's been done at TVA has been through their hard work as well. So definitely want to acknowledge them. Phil got me all fired up. How about you all? So the only other thing I would say is, this is the time for allies to stand up and speak up, right? So I know I am. So thank you all. Y'all have a good night.
We are fortunate to have the next award creator, I guess, with us. So would Marissa Richmond please make your way to the stage to present this award tonight? The results of effective advocacy can produce earth-shattering changes, and advocacy is essential to bring about change. The Marissa Richmond Civic Advocacy Award recognizes individuals for their outstanding civic work on behalf of the LGBTQ community. The nominees for this award are Roberta Chevret, Pamba Paul Samuel, and Dr. Amy Aldridge Sanford. Each of these nominees has engaged in significant civic advocacy to better the lives of LGBTQ people and all people. At this time, we're pleased to present a certificate of recognition to the Marissa Richmond Civic Advocacy Award finalist, Dr. Amy Aldridge Sanford, for embodying the principles endorsed by the Marissa Richmond Civic Advocacy Award. Please accept this certificate of recognition on behalf of the LGBT College Conference Advisory Board. Thank you. We have a tie tonight for this award. Both of our winners are passionate advocates for the LGBTQ community. It is my pleasure to present Roberta Chevret and Pamba Paul Samuel the 2023 Marissa Richmond Civic Advocacy Award. And Paul's not with us tonight. He had to fly back to Africa today. So we got his award earlier today and gave that to him.
Thank you. This is a beautiful honor, not expected. So I really appreciate sharing this space, this stage, this community, for some people, even neighborhood or street, with so many amazing people who are working for advocacy for the community. So I really appreciate all of you and think that we all deserve a little plaque, you know. Thank you.
So much of the excellence and service to the community results in profound waves of change throughout the places where we live, work, and play. The Community Excellence Award allows us to recognize those community leaders whose tireless efforts bring us all closer together. The nominees for this award are Ray Holloman, Shay Crowell, and Dr. Brian Isaac Marshall. Each of these nominees has served as a leader in the community and an example for us all. At this time, we're pleased to present certificates of recognition to the Community Excellent Award finalists, Shay Crowell and Dr. Brian Isaac Marshall. Shay and Brian, for embodying the principles endorsed by the Community Excellence Award, please accept certificates of recognition on behalf of the LGBT College Conference Advisory Board. Thank you both. Ray Holloman, like his fellow nominees, is a tireless community leader. It is my pleasure to present to him the 2023 Community Excellence Award.
Super was not expecting this. I just had surgery on Tuesday, so I can't turn my head even. I want to thank my partner, Alicia. She's put up with me when I say, hey, I'm going to go do this thing and I'm going to go talk about being trans for an hour. And she's like, okay, sounds great. Also would like to thank everybody that's on the task force with me. I couldn't do it without them. We've been fighting, for the last few years to basically make sure that trans people know how to get healthcare in this state. And now it seems like even more than ever, just trying to make sure that we survive in this state. And I want to thank all of the people that come out and hear me speak. because now is the time for our allies to move from being allies to being accomplices with us in this fight, because they are going to continue attacking us. And so we're going to need your help more than ever. But thank you all.
The Diane Easter Corporate Engagement Award serves to recognize individuals for their professional efforts in advancing and advocating for LGBTQ+ inclusive workplace and community initiatives. The award was named for Diane Easter at the inaugural LGBT+ College Conference in 2014. The nominees for this award are Nader McDonald, Victoria Montefusco, and Bo Robertson. Each of these nominees has used their position as a corporate leader to advocate on behalf of LGBTQ+ people in the workplace and the community. At this time, we're pleased to present certificates of recognition to the Diane Easter Corporate Engagement Award finalists, Nader McDonald and Bo Robertson. For embodying the leadership principles endorsed by the Diane Easter Corporate Engagement Award, please accept your certificates of recognition on behalf of the LGBT+ College Conference Advisory Board. Thank you both. Victoria Montefusco, like her fellow nominees, has many accomplishments. It's my pleasure to present to her the 2023 Diane Easter Corporate Engagement Award.
I think I can speak for all the winners to say I definitely was not expecting this. I just want to thank everyone at TVA. Lindsay, you have been an amazing champion for Spectrum. I want to thank my partner, Luke. He's just been so supportive. I never thought that as a bi+ woman that I would be so accepted and embraced in this community. And I'm just so honored to have this award and to be able to do work on behalf of everyone in this community. And this is just a really amazing thing. So thank you so much, seriously.
Because this effort was launched at a university, it seems fitting that we also recognize excellence in academics. Since 2015, we've been pleased to recognize nominees who have made a difference in policy and practice in higher education. Each of them has chosen to meet people where they are with a focus on teaching, training, and learning. The nominees for this award are Allie Sultan, Ann Petty, and LaShonda Mims. Each of these nominees has served as an academic leader and an example for us all. At this time, we're pleased to present acknowledgement certificates to the Academic Advancement Award finalists, Allie Sultan and Ann Petty. Allie and Ann, for embodying the principles endorsed by the Academic Advancement Award, please accept certificates of recognition on behalf of the LGBT+ College Conference Advisory Board. LaShonda Mims, like her fellow nominees, is an academic leader. It is my pleasure to present to LaShonda Mims the 2023 Academic Advancement Award.
This is amazing. I came out to myself a long time before I went out into the world and decided I'd have to come out to them too. But I often feel like, especially now, as a middle-aged, white, cisgender, lesbian, that I'm not the best face for queer identity. But I'm often the only face that my students have. And so I do the best I can to wear that proudly because I move through the world with enormous privilege as a white woman. And I'm always excited when I'm acknowledged in any way for the work I do with students. It's a dream to be working with students who remind me of me. And mostly because I don't ever think I imagined that I would belong here as a first gen student who took a really, really, really problematic path to the academy without realizing that going to 5 undergrads would be really difficult when it was time to apply for grad school and get transcripts. And that's what happens when you don't have any guidance. So I often say I'm probably the oldest living assistant professor, and that's okay. I'm gonna get there. But this is just a thrill to stand before you and having had a good academic year personally, but also to be able to be as loud and proud as I can for my queer students and to champion their good work as they move through the world in vulnerable ways. Thank you all.
The final award this evening is MTSU Lambdas Association Wayne C. Rossing LGBTQ+ Advisory Advocacy Award. Established in 2013 by the then MT Lambda president, Joshua Rigsby, this award serves to recognize members of the LGBTQ+ and allied community here at Middle Tennessee State University who have contributed greatly to positive change in the campus climate. The award was named for Dr. Wayne C. Rossing, a biology professor now retired from MTSU and past faculty advisor for MT Lambda, who worked tirelessly to advance the cause of LGBTQ+ students on campus, and who exhibited extraordinary courage in the face of opposition from administrators and harassment from his colleagues to bring about positive change for the students at MTSU. This year's award winner is Dr. Deborah Sells. Deborah Sells is the Vice President for Student Affairs at MTSU. In that role, she has been the point person between the administration and LGBTQ+ folks advocating to improve equality at the university. MTSU is the best campus in the Southeast region for LGBTQ+ students, in large part through her efforts, working in collaboration with allies in the administration and student leaders. You can see the impact of Deborah Sells' support of LGBTQ+ community at MTSU everywhere you look, from the big things like our campus safe zone program to small things like the sign on the single-user bathroom outside the ballroom that we're in now. It's my pleasure to present to Dr. Deborah Sells the 2023 Wayne C. Rossing LGBT+ Advocacy Award.
Thanks to all of you. I was not aware I would be asked to say a few words, but I've been thinking tonight, as I'm also getting ready to retire, about having arrived here in 1996, and things looked a lot different on the campus at that point. I had been working previously in a number of, I think what you would call more progressive campuses, and I moved to Tennessee, and folks asked me if I knew what I was doing, and I wasn't entirely sure. And as I arrived in the first few weeks, I ran across a group of protesters who were unhappy about a group of our LGBT students who were meeting. And I did think, what the hell have I done? And so as people asked me over the years what I was doing, I always answered and said, I am a missionary for higher education in the state of Tennessee. And as a missionary, most missionaries stay 3 or 4 years and then they go back to their countries. But I made the mistake of falling in love with my students. And the students on this campus are extraordinary young people. And I do believe in the power of higher education to change individual lives and to change our collective lives. And so as I look back at 27 years here and get ready to hand things off to younger folks who will continue to lead you forward, I have nothing but the fondest of memories of working with the most extraordinary students who inspired me every day and most importantly, made me laugh every day. You guys are hysterically funny and that has kept me young. So I am very grateful and this is an awfully nice way to wrap up my time here, and thank you so much.
We have one more special presentation this evening. MTSU alumnus John Breeding has established the MTSU Lambda Association Heroes Scholarship to honor people who made a significant contribution to the lives of LGBTQ+ students at MTSU and to help current students continue the tradition of advocacy. This year, we're pleased to present the winner of the 2023 Heroes Scholarship Award with a certificate acknowledging their achievement. Will Zofia Sagalski please come forward to receive your certificate? What an evening, and how inspiring it is to learn what special people we have among us. Let's give all the 2023 LGBT+ College Conference finalists and awardees a big round of applause. We will now begin closing remarks for this evening. I would like to invite William Langston to join us on stage.
Good evening. Sorry, I brought a lot of goods and products with me. I should not have waited to prepare my remarks until the last day of the conference. This is going to be a little disjointed. And I feel I should tell you that 20 years ago, we had Judy Shepard on campus for the first ever Spring Out. And 10 years ago, we had Chaz Bono here for the trial run for this conference, which is now the anchor on Spring Out, which is now technically 21 years old. And in 2003, when I was smaller than this, I bought a suit for Judy Shepard. And I tried to get back into that suit for tonight, but I didn't quite make it. But I did get into the suit I bought when I was a lot larger than this, and my belt is doing the Lord's work tonight. If these pants don't come down during this event, it's going to be a miracle. I did not think that through this morning when I didn't try it on. So sorry, I'm going to do the best I can to keep these remarks on point. I have the honor of thanking the people who make this event happen. A lot of people have thanked me over the course of the day, and I'm happy to accept that, but I really don't do much of the work. Katanya Malone in the psychology department works with the contracts office to do the contracts for this event. If you've ever done contracts in a bureaucracy the size of MTSU, you know that that is an unbelievably tiresome job. Everyone we turn in, I hope nobody from the contracts office is here. I love them. I got to bring them cookies for something that we did to them earlier. But every contract, it's a new set of rules. And so we comply with the previous one, and then they tell us they want a different thing. And so Katanya is a hero for this event. Haley Claybrooks and the staff of the union and Justin, I mean, look at this, right? Everything we did, and I have to tell you, one of the things that we have a high standard for is that this is all broadcast on Zoom. It is not easy to broadcast live on Zoom with people participating on Zoom and PowerPoints and movies, and they did it perfectly. And it is such an honor to work with people who are that good at their jobs, Justin. Amber Weaver with Aramark and the staff that have served you tonight did an outstanding job with the food for the event. Rose in the print shop actually hit a deer and totaled her car and was seriously injured and came in limping and broken to prepare the pull-ups for the displays for Borough Pride and TDOR to get them here on time. Taylor Watson is a former graphic arts student at MTSU and does the design for the program and everything, all the entire art package that you see. The presenters volunteered their time to this event and did an unbelievable job. And I was going to say, hold your applause to them. Let's give all the presenters a round of applause. I just want you to know, one of them had surgery the day before they presented. And I said, get out of your sick bed and do your job. No, Ray did it regardless. We had somebody with a child in the ER until 2 a.m. the night before. We had somebody whose grandchild was having surgery that they went to after their presentation. Of course, Pamba Paul Samuel traveled here from Uganda, and I'm not going to cry in front of y'all. I am, but I'm going to try not to. But it was a difficult thing to send him home today. And thank you, Lori, for y'all working so hard to help him line up scholarships for folks in Uganda. And we got a lot more work to do to help people in Uganda. And if you keep track of the conference, we'll be talking about that more. All of our sponsors and supporters, Nissan, thank you all for your making us able to do this and do it for free for students, because if it weren't for free, it would be a lot harder to put on. Thank you, MTSU. I'm sure you know in today's climate that it takes a lot of risk to put an event on like this. I'm not going to read you the hate mail that I've received over the last 3 days, but I am a shameful, well, I can't even tell you because there's a lot of children in the room, but thank you for taking the risk, MTSU. And then of course, I was not allowed to bring him on stage without risking the long-term duration of my marriage. But my husband, Trent Jackson, has sat at the registration desk all 3 days and labored tirelessly for this event. I've been telling people all day, you better watch me in September, because if you get too close, you're going to end up doing an event for the LGBT plus college conference. And if you have any ideas, of course, you're welcome to do them. The first thing I'm going to say to you is, yes, put that on for us, please. I have, in a former life, run a wedding cake company, and I was a part of the best wedding team in Nashville, bar none. I have literally participated in a wedding that cost $1 million. And none of those people touch the team I work with at the LGBT plus college conference. And it is a privilege to be a part of a group that can do the amazing things that this group does. So now for everybody, please, a big round of applause. We had an outstanding session on fundraising with some practical tips on how to get money. And we need money. I don't know when, but I would anticipate the legislature at some point is going to tell MTSU they can't give us any state money to do this event. And that's going to be a difficult day for this event because it takes money to do this event. And so we're going to have to learn how to raise money. And one of the things they told us is you need an elevator speech. What do you want? And they wanted it to be 2 minutes. Well, I'm not going to do a 2-minute elevator speech, but I'm going to tell you what I want. And I think it's kind of weird what I want, because it comes from this book called Complete and Utter Failure by Neil Steinberg. And it is not what it sounds like. It is a rumination on failure, and it is an unbelievable book, like a chapter on the spelling bee, which is engineered so that 1 million kids enter and only one can win. And its view of what winning means is kind of weird. But he says in this book, for a long while, our normality struck me as tragic, the withering of wondrous flowers that should have been allowed to bloom. But that was youthful ego. Now I see we were assuming our rightful spot in the great slurry of ordinary people, most of whom seem to want, at least at some point, to do some fabulous thing with their lives, to be glittering and special, only to eventually abandon their dreams and go on to mundane existences. And it feels weird to say this, but that's what I want for LGBTQ plus people in Tennessee, is the opportunity to go on to a mundane existence, right? Not to be hated and reviled, not to be constantly harassed by the legislature so that every move you make is potentially a criminal act. And it's weird to want something so small, but that's what I think that we can try to achieve with this conference, is just be ordinary, right? And that's the vision I have for this event. I think I need to polish that a bit. That sounds like not enough. I have one more thing to talk about tonight. Dr. Sells mentioned the protesters you saw. That was because we had the Southeast LGBT conference here in '96. And in 1997, when I was looking for a job and I got an opportunity to come to MTSU, I Googled it. Well, I Alta Visted it because there was no Google then. And MTSU didn't have a web page. But the LGBT conference they had hosted had a page, and I was like, well, if they'll host that conference, then I could probably go there. So I'm glad those protesters were there for you, because that's why I'm here now. Had I not seen that, I wouldn't have been. Dr. Sells is put in the difficult position of carrying the message from the administration about what we are and aren't going to be allowed to have for LGBTQ plus students at MTSU. And, you know, the university, being a state institution, is reluctant sometimes to move forward on projects that I feel passionate about. I'm in the room in February when it's 10 degrees outside and pitch dark, and a student has to walk 3 buildings across campus to go to the bathroom because there's no bathroom in the building we're in where they can go. And I see the need. I feel it viscerally that we must address this need, but the university does not respond to that. And we were going to put the bathroom signs up, and the university said no. And I pitched a fit, like a spoiled brat that I frequently am. And Marion Wilson, who was the director of institutional equity and compliance at the time, told me to be a grown-up and do my job and get that sign. And I had to go to a meeting with the vice presidents, and it was me on one side. I don't know if you know, it was a traumatic event for me to have to do that. But Dr. Sells was on the other side, and I knew the game was rigged because you were on the other side of the table. And I had Marion behind me. If you've ever been scolded by Marion Wilson, I felt like so ashamed for having to have her force me to do it. But what we ended up with, and I know you were behind it, but we've never talked about it, is after I made my case and I presented the data like you're supposed to, they brought out a better sign than I ever would have asked them for, thought we could get, and it's on the door out there, and I know you were behind it, and I appreciate that very much, because that was a difficult moment, and it was good to see you on the other side, smiling at me. I really appreciate it. After Borough Pride was banned this fall, we weren't allowed to talk about it as members of the committee that plans Borough Pride. In fact, we are still not allowed to talk about it because there's a case with the ACLU going forward. But this fall, we were especially not allowed to talk about it because in addition to banning Pride, the people who got us banned were trying to get the performers to have criminal charges filed against them that would follow them for the rest of their lives. And one misplaced word from the planning committee could literally put those people in jail. And so we had to take the abuse that was being heaped upon us and not say anything. And I had stopped by to give Dr. Sells her art from this year's conference, or because I'd forgotten to give it to her. And she said, sit down, and asked me about Borough Pride. And I sat in your office and cried a little bit because you said, what can MTSU do? And it meant so much to hear somebody say, what can we do? Because it was so isolating to be treated the way the city has treated us for something we were so proud of and something we had done so well, and we didn't do anything wrong. And they are wrong for doing this to the city of Murfreesboro and to this community. But to have you say, what can we do? How can we help? And to be a person to listen. Like, I didn't even know I needed it so bad, but as soon as you said, sit down, I just started crying. I'm embarrassed to cry, but I was like, oh, heck with it. I'm going to do it anyway, because what choice have I? Sometimes you just have to, right? And then you start fighting some more. But thank you so much for everything you've done for us. And now that you're leaving, I want to show you how I was planning our campaigns against you. This book is called Rules for Radicals. And I'm going to tell you now from the chapter called Tactics. Tactic 1, power is not only what you have, but what the enemy thinks you have. And Lord, we threatened you with some things over the years that we would never have done because I love MTSU more than anything. But I hope that you believed me at least once or twice in the things that we said. Never go outside the experience of your people. Whenever possible, go outside the experience of the enemy. Not that you were the enemy, you were on the other side of the table. And I don't know if you can remember the times we tried to put that into practice. There's a couple of more here. Make the enemy live up to their own book of rules. That is a tough one, but Luckily, MTSU has a lot of stuff in writing that is useful at times when we're arguing with the administration. And a good tactic is one that your people enjoy, and a tactic that drags on too long becomes a drag. And then finally, change your tactics all the time so the other side doesn't know what you're planning to do. And so we tried all of those on you, and I know that you knew, because we would go into her office and she would rip the whole thing apart with the first thing she said. And I'm like, give me your copy of Rules for Radicals. It's not fair that you've got my book and you're cheating. And so as you leave, I believe we will be in good hands. Some of the people that are taking over here are here tonight. I think we're going to be okay, but it makes me anxious because I know we've had an ally. I know we've been on the other side of the table a lot, but we've always had the same purpose. We're just trying to get it done with what MTSU can tolerate. And I appreciate all of your years of service. And I really want to thank you very much. So from me to you, thank you. And that concludes my remarks. Thank you all very much.
Kayla, what an evening and what a pleasure it's been to share the stage with you. To all of you in the audience, I extend my thanks and appreciation for being here. Kayla, have we missed anything?
No, Justin, I think it's time for us to call it a night. To all of you who have been a part of this inspiring evening, we thank you. There is still so much work to be done, and each of us can play a part in making great those places where we all live, work, and play. Please share any photos you took with us by posting them to the nominees and award winners. Please share any photos you took with us by posting them to the LGBT+ College Conference Facebook page. And all nominees and award winners, please come forward for a group photo. Good night, and this concludes our program. Thank you.